Hi, I'm Stuart Clark, the Managing Director of Russell & Russell.
And I'm Yvonne Webb of Action Coach Business Coaching. And together we are your co-hosts and sponsors of Glasgow Business Stories. We hope you're loving Glasgow Business Stories. So if you are, please do us a favour and subscribe. New episodes drop every 2 weeks, and we want you to hear all the wonderful stories from the businesses here in Glasgow. So please subscribe now. Gillian, Leslie, thank you for coming on Glasgow Business Stories. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So let's start by you just telling us who you are and what you do.
My name's Gillian Frew. I'm the Managing Director at Fat Buddha Store.
I'm Leslie Docherty. I do mostly e-com at Fat Buddha Store.
Okay, so tell us a bit about Fat Buddha Store then.
We started 21 years ago,
21, yep.
Thinking that Glasgow needed a store that sold a mixture of ingredients, toys, books, clothing, footwear, and things that were quite interesting, because at that point there wasn't really many. We were a lifestyle store 20 years ago, before lifestyle stores kind of came about, and we opened it in Glasgow thinking it would be quite easy because no one else had done it before. And sometimes you kind of maybe realise that the reason no one's done it before is because it's not a great business. But we made our mistakes and we evolved, and we realised that selling cool niche brands is fine, but alongside the cool niche brands you maybe need more monster brands, and that's where brands like Nike, Carhartt, Patagonia, Fjallraven. So once we kind of realised that it's a baking a cake, you need some like core ones that pay all the bills, and then you around that core you've got a set of nice interesting brands and make your shop cool and give the customers a reason to come back. So that's probably what we've been doing. We're online now. We've been online now for almost since we started, maybe about 18 years, and online's maybe about 70% of what we do.
And so where did the idea come from? Like, what was the event or thing you couldn't buy that made you think this is what Glasgow needs?
I used to work in a store most folk in Glasgow remember called Flip, and it was clothing retail. But I used to go, anytime I went through, we had a shop in Edinburgh, and every time I went to Edinburgh, there's a couple of cool shops in the Grassmarket that sold books, and I used to come back there with like spend £100 on design books and logo books, and just thinking there's no one in Glasgow does it. And I remember talking to one of the guys in the bookshop in Edinburgh and said, "Oh, you couldn't have us in Glasgow. Glasgow folk don't get it, not cultured enough." I remember thinking we could do stuff like that. So when we first started, that's why we had cool clothing and a mixture of cool design books and art supplies and bags and hats. So we had quite a mixture. But yeah, just thinking that no one else had done it before was probably the biggest one.
I always remember you said to me, Gillian, he says, "I've got a great idea for a shop. Do you want to put some money into the business? You wouldn't need to do very much. You've done accounts at school, so you'll be able to maybe help with the accounts." And at that time, I was in the police. So I was in the CID in the city centre, and I was just like, "All right, how much money do you want?" And he's like, "Maybe, can you give me X amount?" I'm like, "Right, okay." And our dad gave us some money as well. And he's like, "You'll only maybe do like an hour a month. Maybe just doing like, maybe help with payroll, do the accounts and yada, yada, yada." And one of the stories I always remember, so before the cloud-based accountancy systems, it was a disk with Sage, and our accountant, our bookkeeper, would have the disk, and I was pregnant with my son, and 4 days after he was born, I was in hospital for 5 days. So it was day 6, I had to go and do the wages, and I had to go and meet the bookkeeper. So I've got this newborn baby with the Sage disk, because we always had to do all of that, and it was just a case of what happened to this 1 hour per week. Never get any maternity leave, because I'm the one that does all the governance, HMRC, all the payroll sort of stuff. And I've never ever had anything, you know what I mean, like couldn't take a year off, because if I took a year off, who does all that stuff? So it's went from an hour a month, and recently over Christmas time, 7 days a week, 16-hour shifts. But when you're on your own business, that's what you need to do during Christmas periods. There is downtimes, obviously, when it isn't so busy, you can take a step back. But we sold a pup, I think, Leslie, was or not? Yeah, definitely.
So we should just say for people, you are brother and sister.
Yes.
So there is a kind of, bigger relationship there than business partners purely.
Yeah, we're called Irish twins. So Irish twins are siblings that are born within 1 year of each other. So we are the same age for 4 days of the year, aren't we? So yes. He's the older brother, I'm the younger sister, just in case anyone's in any doubt.
Thank you for clarifying that. So you've been in the business from its inception, but you maybe are in it more often as in day to day.
I'm day-to-day in the trenches, and 3 years ago when Gillian retired from the police, Gillian became more involved rather than just doing stuff at weekends and at evenings. Gillian came on board 4 days a week initially.
4 days. But I said to Leslie, what title will I have? He says, I quite fancy financial director, because you always hear you think you're going to get a gold card and get a nice car. He's like, no, let's become managing director. And I was like, that, all right, okay. And since then, yep, I've still to get my gold card and I've still to get my fancy car.
And when Gillian retired, we kind of swapped roles a bit. So Gillian I maybe don't enjoy the staffing element. I don't enjoy the discipline of staff. I don't enjoy that side of it. So Gillian's quite firm. So we kind of almost switched roles, where I was more in charge previously and we just swapped it over, and Gillian now does that role, and I can now focus on what I enjoy doing. I can focus on online. I can focus on growing that. I don't have the distractions of all the other parts of the business, which Gillian enjoys. So it's been, since Gillian retired, it's probably been the best thing that's happened, where it's just allowed us to do the job that we enjoy, whereas previously I was doing the job I didn't enjoy. I was doing all the bits of the business that are not fun. So I managed, luckily, pass all that non-fun stuff to Gillian, and I say my job's now is fun. It's busy, but it's things I have an interest in. So my job is now more fulfilling, and Gillian's job it requires structure. So she does all the things, the chasing people up. No one gives me a bit of paper because I will lose it. No one gives me an arranged document because I will lose it. And Gillian deals with all this stuff now. So it's, since we kind of job retired, it's been much more of a benefit to everyone.
And do you enjoy your side of
Yeah,
things?
I would say Leslie's probably got an undiagnosed ism, right? And you're aware of it, right? He's like, he can be really antisocial. He can be really not nice, and he has.
Can be not nice.
No, yeah, you have moments. So now
I'm quiet.
He's very quiet. You know when it's right. This is a good thing about a brother and sister relationship. When I go into work, I know when he's maybe had a bad day. Sometimes you just go up and give your brother a big hug and just say I love you. Right? It's just simple things, and he can come up and do that to me and say, Gillian, I love you. And it's like, that's what a brother and sister relationship's all about. But I know I can kick his butt, he can kick my butt, you know. And it's like, sometimes you need to have a shouting match. Sometimes you don't need to have a shouting match. Sometimes you just need to send. I was on holiday in March and I sent him an email from my personal email address, and you took it on board, didn't you? Because you went, I'm sorry about that, Gillian. And it was just, sometimes you need to know the brevity of things before you take action. And the job I do now, I love talking to the suppliers. I love talking to them. You need to build a relationship with them, because when you're in business and if things go tough, you need to have a person you can contact. So say, for instance, your cash flow is a bit tight, you're looking for extended payment terms. If you have that rapport with your supplier, you can just phone them up and say, we're having a bit of a tough time just now. Can we get extended payment terms? If you weren't doing that, they would just, that could be a reason that your business folds. So it's really important to speak to people, to treat people how you would like to be treated. And I think since I've came on board, we're a wee bit better. One
of the things that suppliers hate is silence.
Mm-hmm.
They think you might have problems. You won't answer your phone. You won't answer the email. They don't know what's going on. They get very nervous. What a supplier wants to hear is that we are having slight problems. We fixed our cash flow. However, we need an extra 90 days to pay for it. Okay. They know they're getting paid in 90 days as opposed to knowing they might not be getting paid at all. So suppliers hate silence. And anytime you've got a problem, what you need to do is contact your suppliers. And anytime you've got a problem, a good supplier will say to you, you should have told us earlier and we could have helped you. Suppliers want relationships, because once you go, who else do they sell £50,000 of stock a year to? There's no one else left. So it's in their interest for you to keep going. So sometimes you think if you have a problem, you need to keep it to yourself. Sometimes you just need to open up a bit more and just let them know we're having some problems just now. And you find it as suppliers, they've been in business long enough. It's a cycle. If they keep you supplied just now, in 3 years' time, you've doubled your order from 50,000 to 100,000 and then up to 200,000. So it's in their interest. It's a relationship. And that's the thing that people forget. The supplier doesn't have to sell to you, and you don't have to buy from a supplier. You do it because you like it, Sharon, because you've maybe got product at a price that you want to buy, and he likes your retail store, so he wants to sell to you, and you want to buy his product because the customer likes it. No one has to do it. It's more, I think sometimes folk forget, it is a relationship that you need to have. It's not just
And how important then is also the retail store to that? Because obviously you're saying 70% is online, but you know, if you've not got the bricks and mortar store, how do you still get as many people through the door? Is it hard to grow the online element of it? Is it because people have come in, or how do they work?
We have certain brands that drive foot flow into the store. So a customer, a brand like Stubble & Co., customer will go online, see Stubble & Co. bag, really like it, say it looks a lovely looking bag, but it's £120. I'd need to touch it first. Go to the store locator. Oh, I've Fatbud in town, they sell it. And then they come into the shop to look at the Stubble & Co. bag. Once they come in and look at the Stubble & Co. bag, they're going, oh, this is a cool shop. I didn't realise you sold Patagonia, Fjallraven, Red Wing, Deus. I didn't realise you'd done Peanuts gifts. So the brands that you sell online can also drive folk into store. And then the question we get asked is, if you do 70% online, why do you have a shop? Why don't you get rid of your shop? Because the reason you don't get rid of your shop is the brands don't want to sell to online-only retailers. The brands want bricks and mortar. So we've got quite a few brands who will not stock online retailers. They only want they'll only stock retailers who have a bricks and mortar store. And we recently managed to get Barber to come on board as one of our brands. And the reason we got Barber is not because we're 70% online. It's because we've got a really nice store in the centre of Glasgow. They want to have the footfall. They want the people of Glasgow walking around to see Barber in a nice environment, sitting alongside Carhartt, sitting alongside Edwin, sitting alongside Nudie. So the store serves a purpose of letting us get the brands in store to sell 70% of it online. So you need both, and both work well together. The website has volume. The store has the credibility to get brands to sell a volume online.
One thing we recently done last year, we now take tourist luggage into the shop because we've got capacity downstairs, and that's another good driver of footfall, because tourists might just walk past us not knowing who we are, but now because we take luggage, we'll take it in, they'll have a wee browse round about, they might buy something, they might see their friends or other tourists, well, that's a really cool shop. And then again, you've got the second capture of the tourists when they come in to retrieve their luggage, so they might not have purchased something at the beginning, but they might say later on, oh, I remember seeing that. And for giftware, it's great. It's just targeting tourists with giftware has been really successful for us, hasn't it? Yeah. And it's like thinking outside the box. When we started saying to our staff, we're going to take in luggage, they looked at us and like, really? Why would you want to take in luggage? But then once they realised what it does and it increases footfall, we went, that's a really, really good idea.
And for every suitcase you take in, you get £3.50. And it is the only thing we do. It's like money for nothing.
100% margin.
You store a suitcase, the person comes in at 10 o'clock, you store it until 4 o'clock, take the suitcase, and it's £3.50. And then generally, there might be 3 or 4 people, and you've got 2 bags each. So the main thing with the luggage one is you get a text to say, these people are going to drop a bag off at 10 o'clock. When they come in, oh, hi, Louise, how are you? And how do you know my name? Oh, we've got a book. And the more conversation you can have with the customer when they come in, you generally find that anyone who's got a positive thing to say about you, they'll say it online. So really, we find that the luggage one was probably one of those ones. But at first, we were a bit reticent. But once we started going with it, it's been pretty good.
And where's the warehouse then for the online orders? Is that in Glasgow as well?
Yeah, it depends how fast you walk. 10 minutes, 9 to 10 minutes walk from the shop. So the warehouse, if there's any orders get taken to the shop, they get transported by foot from James Watt Street where our premises are. So it's an old tobacco warehouse built in 18 something or other. So we've got a couple of storage units in there. We've got a couple of offices in there. And we've been there how many years now? About 9 years? 9 years.
At various points along the way, we have considered having our own warehouse. And we are so glad we've never done it. We're in an environment just now where the storage place we've got is fabulous. The people work there are great. We can take another storage unit tomorrow, so we can take on another 2,000 square foot tomorrow. We can hand back 2,000 square foot tomorrow. So on that basis, we don't have that problem where when our business grows, we're stuck with a smaller warehouse, and we don't have that problem in 5 years' time, try to exit a warehouse and do dilapidations. And so we don't have all those problems. We've also got a benefit where the warehouse closes at 6 o'clock every day.
He'd be in there at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning if he could. And at Christmas time, the staff said to both of us, you should have a set of keys for this place because you're in here more than anyone. I'm
always there outside at 8 o'clock in the morning with my bike, waiting for a place to open. So the downside of the place is it shuts at 6 o'clock. The upside is it shuts at 6 o'clock. You need to go home. So having that is really good. It's a set of guardrails. But we found, and also where we are, I think in Queen Street, we're maybe paying £75 a square foot for rent. Our storage place, which is a 10-minute walk, is £7.50. a square foot for rent. So it's much more beneficial for us to have bigger premises there, and we can also have a bit more space there than what we would need, just so we can move product about. But having this storage place in town has been really, really beneficial.
And at Christmas and New Year, for the first time ever last year, we closed on Boxing Day, and we closed on the 2nd of January. First time in 20 years we've done that.
Never done it before.
And we thought, we want to it was nice to give the staff a wee bit of a reward. So the ones that were working in the warehouse and the ones that were working in the shop, they could do stuff at Christmas with their families, they could do stuff on Boxing Day, do stuff on the 2nd. And one of the drivers for that was the warehouse was shut. So it was great. Me and him had 2 days off after Christmas, because I had PTSD after Christmas. I really did. And it was like, after Christmas, I was just like, I came away and I was actually shaking. I remember on Christmas Eve, people don't realise customer expectations. I came in on Christmas Eve and I realised that DPD had not picked up customer orders from the day before. And I burst into tears. And I was like, I have now ruined people's Christmases. And I got plenty of emails from customers to say, you have ruined my Christmas. It's not a case of the fact that the customer should have maybe ordered a few days before, but I take things really on board. And maybe I think I've got a thick skin, but I've not got a thick skin because I take things to heart, and that's why I love the business so much. So on Christmas Eve, that nearly killed me, just seeing this this bag full of parcels, thinking, right, I've ruined people's Christmases. And I phoned DPD and they're like, oh, we'll pick them up 4 days later. But 4 days later is like 4 days after Christmas, and it was awful, and it's like, it was not a good time. And then taking the 1st and 2nd off as well, that was really good, because that reset you a wee bit more, and the staff were really, really thankful that we gave them that amount of time off. This year, are we going to do it again? Probably not, because Boxing Day's on a Saturday. So most people buy online. You sit on Christmas Day and you're buying. It's not like the queue at Next. Remember, you used to get Boxing Day Next sales and you'd be queuing up for like 2 in the morning because you used to open at 6 in the morning. Remember that? Now Next, most big retailers now don't open Boxing Day. They don't. Quite a lot of them don't open the 2nd, because I think retailers are attuned to families. They want to reward their staff, and the only way they can do it at Christmas time is not to open on the 26th and give their staff a wee bit of time to recover. If you're buying online, it's great. But most people, footfall for us is down at least 10% pre-COVID, since COVID, and Glasgow it's been terrible for footfall. And how do we get it back? Well, we've now got a new manager in store, and it's now more of an experience in the shop. The burn-in sense, they've got curated displays, and it's more a destination shop than what it was the year before. And he's been really, really good, hasn't he?
It's been good. One of the things I'd say regarding Christmas is we have evolved over the years, and our customer now is different from what it was 10, 15 years ago. Our customer's grown up. So 10 years ago, our customer maybe was a 16, 17, 18-year-old younger kid buying, and we sold a lot of trainers. So Boxing Day for them, they had all their money and they were into town to spend it. Now our customer is late 20s, 30s, guy in his 40s. They don't get to town on Boxing Day. They will spend time with their family. They will come to town on the 27th and 28th, and there's not a chance that they will be in town on Boxing Day. So that's where we can afford, if our customer's not in town Boxing Day, we're open on Boxing Day out of habit, and it's really hard to look at a figure and go, oh, we've done $2,000 last Boxing Day. But realising if you just close on Boxing Day, everyone's happy, and then that $2,000 you lost on Boxing Day, you actually made on the 27th anyway. So, and everyone's happy, and everyone's got a bit of release. But yeah, our customers probably grown up in a way that no longer Boxing Day is a big deal for us. It's a smaller affair.
I remember a Boxing Day when we were in our shop in St Vincent Street. I loved working in Boxing Day. There was such a buzz, and all these wee boys were all queuing up to get into the shop, and I'm serving them on the till. And it was at the time they started charging 5p for a carrier bag, and you had to implement it. And all these wee boys, I'd go up to them and say, right, how much do you get for your Christmas? Oh, I get £800. Oh, I get £1,000. Honestly, and then wee boys say, oh, I only get 400. I says, well, you weren't loved, were you? Right, and it was just having banter with the wee boys, and then I'd be on the till, I says, right, 5p for a carrier bag, and they'd give you a $5. They'd be like, keep the change, hen. Right? And I'm like, I can't keep the change, that's £4.95. And they're like, no, what did I do with that? What did I do with these coins? And then they end up, I just when they charge them, I was just like, I'm going to take a $5 for a carrier bag. But that was just the mentality of these wee boys that, £800, £1,000. That's what I got.
That's crazy. So help me understand how you manage the inventory, because I can't quite understand from an online perspective. How do you know how much to have of a particular product, sizing, returns? How does that all work?
So with the brands, clothing brands, you buy everything. We are now doing appointments for the stuff that we're going to buy for next winter. So we buy all the clothing and footwear. You order it pretty much like 9-10 months in advance.
So for context, we're sitting here in May, so you're ordering stuff for next winter?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
We've just started receiving deliveries last 2 weeks ago for this winter. So we've not even finished summer and we've started receiving our winter deliveries. But at the same time, we're in summer just now. We need to start ordering for next winter. That is generally clothing and footwear. The spray paint we sell, the gifts are all on stock. So they're just stock items. So you phone up on a Monday and it arrives on a Wednesday. It's amazing. So that's why, because we sell a range of products, it makes it advantageous. Where if you run out of something towards Christmas, if it's a gift, you just order more of it and it comes on a Wednesday. Whereas the clothing side of it, once it's gone, and it's generally fine with fashion. You have a t-shirt and you sell a t-shirt out and then next season it's a slightly different t-shirt. Whereas with the giftware side of it, like Peanuts mugs, you'll be selling the same mug for 10 years. We sell spray paint. It's maybe about 15% of what we do. And we've been selling the same spray paint colours for 17 years. It never goes out of stock. It never goes out of fashion because it's never in fashion. All you have to do is rotate the stock so you're all selling the older paint first. But generally paint has a 10-year shelf life. And paint is one of the things that it's one of the silent things that we do that folk don't know about. But it's probably the best thing we do because there is no newness. You don't have to sell product out in sale. As long as you're carrying all the colours, you will always be the place where people want to go. Our pricing, we sell it and so does Cass Art. Cass Art are maybe £2 or £3 a can more expensive than us. We buy it from the same place, we pay the same price, but they will charge more because they sell to art, they're an art store, whereas our customer is a bit more younger and a bit more vocal and they'll complain if it's £5 or £10 dearer. So we are, on that basis, a bit more price conscious, but paint is probably one of the things that we sell the most, and it's not so much graffiti, it's more art based. Our customers more upcycling kitchens, bicycles, plant pots, and probably COVID was a time when paint really took off for us because everyone was at home, nothing they could do, and everyone had bicycles, so everyone wanted to spray the bicycle, everyone wanted to do garden furniture, and during COVID paint probably was 95% of the orders we were doing.
That saved us, didn't it? Having spray paint really did.
It really did save our life. We were the only place who could also ship same day, delivery next day, because everyone was doing distancing. And it was me and my sister were working in there. So, not that sister, my sister Evelyn, who worked there. And there's no social distancing because we're a family. So we were the only place where you could order paint up until 2:30 and get it the following day. So we were maybe doing 200 orders a day, just cans of spray paint. And
but look at the margin. So you're selling a jacket at £400 and you're selling a can of spray paint at £5.95. Still costs the same amount of time to pick, pack and pull the jacket order and pick, pack, pull the paint order. So profitability, although we were doing lots and lots of orders, profitability for us was quite different during COVID, wasn't it?
And the good thing about paint is you buy cans of paint to do a project, you run out of paint, you buy more paint. So paint is probably one of the things where we've got the highest rate of return customers. What you'll find is a customer will buy a jacket, they'll go online, they'll put into Google, Carhartt, Michigan jacket. Who's the cheapest? Buy it from that person.
Who's got a discount code?
They'll buy from that person, and then a month later, if you ask them, where'd you buy your jacket from? Oh, I don't know. Mm-hmm. They have no recollection, and folk think customers are loyal. They're really, you're probably quite silly if you think customers are loyal. No customers are loyal, really. If one person's selling a product at £180 and somebody else is selling it at £200, where's the customer going to go? The customer might like you, but he's not going to pay £20 more because he likes you. He's always going to go to the place that's cheapest. So that customer is really price driven. Whereas the customer who buys paint, they maybe do a bit of research into a project. They want to maybe upcycle kitchen cabinets. So they'll go online, look at videos and they'll research the paint brands they want. So they do a lot of work. So once they've done that initial work and they've bought it once and the paint arrived the following day, next time they want to buy paint and they've got the colour chart out and open the colour chart and it's got the wee Fat Buddha sticker saying, I bought it from Fat Buddha. They buy from you next time because they accept that they've done all the work the last time to figure out the best place to buy it, and next time they want paint, you just automatically come back. So that's probably one of the few things we do where we have constant repeat business. Plus we also sell to councils.
Yeah, we also do, like, so there's quite a lot of graffiti artists in Glasgow. There's like Rogue One and there's various other ones. So Smug, yeah. So Bob is one of our best spray paint customers. Everyone will know who Rogue One is if you Google him. So he's done he's in the mural trail, the Glasgow mural trail. We've also got a lot of people that we do sell spray paint to Warner Brothers down south. And when Glasgow's been used for quite a lot of the film sets, we get people coming in buying spray paint for film sets. And it's good when you look at the invoice, oh, that's going to Warner Brothers. Oh, I wonder what film that's going to be in and different things.
Sash and Sashi buy paint quite a lot. We sold 24 cans of spray paint to Merseyside Police last week, chalk spray paint. So what you find with chalk spray is it's a temporary spray where if you want to do markings, say you're doing an art gallery, you can put a stencil on the ground and spray it with chalk spray and it says this way, and then when the rain comes, the chalk washes away. So that's the good thing about when fashion is maybe slower, we've got a wider range of products that still keep us going. Whereas if we were only a clothing store, the shop would be really boring and it'd be a really boring job. But having a mix of products and a mix of customers.
We do giftware, we do men's grooming products, we do spray paint, we sell books. So all that mix, it's not just you're going in to buy a Carhartt sweat. What else are you buying your Carhartt sweat? Oh, I'm going to buy some Herbis de Mallorca spray, or I'm going to buy ampersand perfume or whatever else. And it's good. It's not just a men's shop. You can go in there as a woman and buy things as well.
I guess from a cash flow perspective as well, it's, most retail, it's like you got that surge obviously because we have anyway, but then it drops off a cliff and then it's like, your cash has got to survive for a few months. Whereas if you've got that constant, it's lower the value.
So you find
money coming in.
Midst of summer when fashion slows down, paint carries on going. So paint will maybe pick up from March all the way through to like September. Yeah. So in the middle of summer when it's hot, the guys are outside painting or people doing projects in the garden. So that's why having a mixture of products works quite well. That at Christmas time, nobody buys paint. Everyone's thinking of gifts. So we've got gifts. So having the wider range of products helps you benefit from that kind of peaks and troughs, but also having a wider range of product that's more cash intensive because you've got to carry stock of more brands of more product. So having the more products is beneficial in that basis, but cash flow, it really hurts.
And how did it evolve into those different products and stuff? Was that paint something you had from day one, or is it? Yeah.
So biggest graffiti guy would be a brand called Obey, and it's Shepherd Fairy. And so we sold some of the Obey books, and then a lot of the brands that we had like in the beginning were maybe Recon and Subware, and these were graffiti guys who had t-shirt brands. So we maybe have some of their t-shirt brands, maybe also have some art design books, and then we had spray paint. And you figure out the person who's interested in art design is a bit more educated who you'll find they've got more interesting design books, logo books. We had them, and they're also a bit more arts and crafty. So that's where the spray paint came in, and you find that art crafty customer was also into books. We also like some of the nicer brands who maybe appreciated that some of the brands, if you buy a pair of Red Wing boots, will last you for a lifetime. You can hand them down to your kids. But yes, they are expensive. However, you're paying for a product once, you don't have to buy it again and again. So it's maybe just realising that your customer who likes nicer things is also more likely to want design books on old American 70s logos. And if they're interested in those 70s logos, they might also be interested in a book on this. And they might also be interested in sketching. So we had sketch. So you find it's just trying to figure out what else would our customer like, and
knowing your customer and knowing
what else makes us more unique. Because if we're selling Barber and Fraser's are selling Barber, why would someone come to us over Fraser's? Well, because you can come into us and you can also get pens, you can also get mugs, you can also get, as John said, grooming products. An example will be one of our biggest suppliers, Carhartt, are opening a huge shop in Glasgow. It's been delayed till next year. So why would a customer come to us to buy Carhartt when there's a Carhartt shop? Because not only can you buy Carhartt from us, you can buy Dickies, you can buy Fjallraven, you can buy Red Wing boots, you can buy Novesta trainers, whereas when you go into a Carhartt store, you can only buy Carhartt. So we need to accept that as well as the multiple of brands we do, that's what gets customers in the door. And having the more interesting product is what keeps customers coming back, because they know if it's a dad's birthday, or my dad likes the socks from Fabulous, they come in automatically, and it's just trying to get on people's shopping list. When folk come into town, there's all certain stores that you always go into, and once you're on someone's shopping list, you find that they keep coming back. But once your customers stop coming in and you go off a shopping list, it's really hard to retrieve that customer from that state of, I've been in Fitbuda 5 times and it's a bit rubbish these days. So you also need to keep interesting product and keep kind of trying to reinvent what you do.
Is that something you monitor then, customer retention? Do you know who your loyal customers are?
Yeah,
and if they've dropped off?
We had, like, Paolo Nutini comes in quite a lot. He buys Italian grooming products for his dad. And a funny story, it was Christmas time, I went in and he said, Paolo's in. I was like, right, everybody, I'm doing the till. I am doing the till. So he comes up to the till and he's got the big hood on and he's trying not to engage with anybody, doesn't want anybody to see him. And I'm like, all right, how's things? And he's like chatting away, telling me what he was doing for Christmas. And I was like, right, Paolo, I says, I'm going to give you a wee discount. I says, not that you need it. I says, because I'm sure you're loaded. And he was just laughing. And it's a bit like that. It's just one of these things. You know who your loyal customers are. One of our best customers, you know the guy I'm talking about, he's been coming for 20 years. So he's one that buys the bags. I think is he a designer or something like that?
Paul.
Aye. So he always comes in, he always chats, and he is our loyal customer. But we've now moved to Shopify. So we had our website through VisualSoft, and we now have a Shopify website. And what drove that was to give the customer a better experience. Because before, if you bought a gift voucher in the shop, you couldn't use it online. Now it's seamless. If you buy a gift voucher online, you can use it in store. And it's just about making the customer journey a bit more enhanced. So when a customer comes in and you put their details in the till, it'll tell you how many previous orders that they had. Especially if you're just new and you don't really know who the customer is. Especially it's like some of the Saturday staff, they might not know, well, that's one of the loyal customers. But now, using Shopify, you can find these things out quite quickly.
One of the advantages for Shopify is we've got Shopify POS, so we've got Shopify Till and we've got Shopify Backend. It shares the same merchant number. So what that means is, what customers don't understand is when you if you buy something online, if I put it last year, you would bring it back, the shop staff couldn't refund it to you because you can't refund it on a shop credit card machine because that's a different merchant number. So you can't refund a card that you've never taken money from because it's money laundering. So what the staff would have to do previously is send the item back to the warehouse. We would then check it. We would then do the refund in the warehouse, and that takes a couple of days. And sometimes items might take a bit longer to get there. Whereas now with Shopify, a customer can buy something online, come into store, return it, get a refund on the spot. So from a customer point of view, so many benefits, and now having one unified system. So rather than customers having an online account and an in-store account, we've got customers with just one account. So that's on a basis of being able to track customers has been really beneficial. And
does that make it easier to keep in touch with them and send mailing lists out or send promotions? Or
super targeted.
Yeah.
You find that everything needs to be super targeted. No customer is interested in a general email about what your new products. They're interested in the new products. So say you've bought a Carhartt t-shirt and you get an email about Carhartt, you'll engage with that one. If you get an email saying we've received Peanuts mugs, why are you sending me that? No one minds when Domino's sends them a 2-for-1 voucher, but no one's really interested when Domino's say we've got a new flavour of pizza. So you need to make sure there's something in it for the customer. And if a customer buys Carhartt clothing and you send them an email about the Carhartt history and about a Carhartt evening you're launching, they're really interested. So I think the key thing is less emails, but more targeted emails, and less is more.
If you're buying like Red Wing boots, you want an email like the next month or the month after to say, we do insoles, we do laces, we do boot creams to maintain your boots, we do all of these things. So again, it's about a customer journey and knowing where we can dip in and out of that customer journey.
And you mentioned team a minute ago, Gillian. How important is it to have the right people on board? How has it been with team? Have you always had a good team with you?
We paid a living wage. So we started paying a living wage 2.5 years ago, and we won the Newcomer Award at the Living Wage Awards the very first year that we implemented it. Why did we do the living wage? Me and Leslie, we were brought up in the schemes in Drumchapel, right? We know what poverty is, and it's one of these things. When you employ someone, they tell you they're skint. They are skint. Like, if I say I'm skint, that means I don't have 20 pennies in my purse, but I can go and use a credit card, I can go and use my overdraft. But when your staff tell you they're skint, you don't know what goes behind closed doors. You don't know how can they afford to get a bus into work. Are they being able to feed their family? Are they going to food banks? So by paying the living wage, it's just a way of rewarding your staff. And for me personally, and Leslie's the same, I'd rather give it to my staff than give it to the taxman. You know what I mean? I'd rather see lower profits if we're going to reward our staff, because the staff make the business. If you get the right staff, that'll increase footfall, it'll increase your profits. And if one of these things, it's like you need to reward your staff as best you can. I'm also co-chair of Make Glasgow Region a living wage city, and that's one of these things where you go and hear different things, you go and hear different stories, and it's about trying to get other businesses on board to pay the living wage, because it's really important that staff are looked after.
We had wanted to do living wage for maybe 3 years before we actually done it. So I had started talking to Gillian years ago about doing living wage. The problem we found, this is an incredible thing, some of the reason we didn't do it as quickly as we did was some of the staff were more against it than us. And why would staff be against it? Because it's a seniority. So staff who've been there longer get paid a bit more, and then suddenly as soon as you do living wage, everyone's getting paid almost the same as them. So they're like, well, I've been here for 5-6 years, how come he's getting paid the same as me? So we actually found that some of the staff were against it. So living wage is something we looked at, and once or twice we went to do it, and it's just adding 10% onto your payroll. Mm-hmm. Was like, and then there came a point when we realised that we need to just give staff a reason to stay, and we need to get better at what we do, and we just took the plunge. And probably say since we've done living wage, it's probably the best thing we've done. It also makes you a bit more aware of staff, that it's not just paying a wage, it's creating an environment where staff can grow. It's also can create an environment where staff can get other jobs to do. Like all our staff now, the guys in the store do socials, and they maybe came from, say, somewhere like JD Sports. Their role was so limited, and they very much, JD will have a social media department, have a buying department, whereas now the guys who run the shop, they can do the buying for the shop, they can do the videos, they can do the social, they can do rotas, they can do stock reordering. And when you work for one of the bigger guys, you don't get to do any of that. So you're a manager in JD, and you're very good at managing what's in front of you, but you go for working for an independent, you get to do everything. You get to do editing, you get to go on Canva, you get to do flyers for the shop. And somebody says, can I do a flyer? Are you interested in that? Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to design the A-board outside and do the A-board every week. Brown, that's great. And you find that when you work for someone small, you get to do all these things and you get to grow the staff. But I think you really need to just see, it's not just paying staff living wage. The next thing we're looking at is living hours, where we guarantee the staff is 60 minimum
16 hours, yeah.
Minimum 16 hours, and you get a rota a month in advance. Mm-hmm. Like, we've never cancelled a shift. So say it's quiet today, we have never in 20 years said to staff, oh, if it's quiet today, just you go home. What we will say if it's quiet is, it's quite quiet today, does anybody want to go? And someone say, oh, I'd love to, I've got an exam. And because a lot of our staff, like say the students, I've got an exam, or I'm going out tonight, or I was out last night, I'd love to finish at 4 o'clock today. But we have never sent a member of staff home that's quiet. We've got so many other jobs that we can do. We just, because it's really unfair. You send someone home early and they've lost two hours pay. You might think that's not a lot, but when you're skint, 2 hours pay is a lot of money. That's your bus fare for a week. So really, we would never do that, because if I was a person and someone said to me, do you want to go home early? Nope, I'm happy. I want to do all my hours.
I suppose now you've got things like social media and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, if it's quiet in the shop, why don't you plan out the next social media post for the next few weeks, or let's record some stuff in the shop? Or
it's like, most be organised, have a list of jobs to do when it's quiet day jobs, and it's quiet today. Those jobs that we can never do because we don't have enough time, pulling the boxes out, cleaning behind it, dusting it, do all those rotten jobs when it's quiet.
Well, you won't be able to in November and December.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us. The last question we always ask before we finish is, what's your guiding principle in business?
I asked Gillian this question about a few months ago. What to you is a successful business? And this is what makes us different. Success for me, I described it as having a business which is organised, more efficient, more streamlined, where everything runs smoother, where the staff are happier, we've got a better product. Gillian's success of a business is financial. So I'm the person in the business who sees things, who does all the buying, I'm like a butterfly. I see things, I go, oh, what's that? And I'm easily distracted, whereas Gillian's one who's more focused, more driven, more financially led, more disciplined. So for me, it's having a better product and a better store. In Gillian, it's about having a business that's more successful.
Yeah, no, definitely financials for me. We've been going 20 years. We are probably, I think now, we are the city centre of Glasgow's only independent clothing store. Blitz shut down, was that 8 weeks ago? Blitz shut down. So there is no one left in Glasgow. We've been going for 20 years. Why have we been going for 20 years? Because yin and yang, we both know each other. It's like you go into work, as I say, you give them a cuddle. Like, working with your brother can be hard work, but I don't see it as being hard work. It's just continuing on. Like, the way we've always been, isn't it?
And it's having the honesty when there's something that you're not happy about, just saying. Like Gillian today was saying about a supplier wanting to come down and visit him. And I'm like, that's not good use of your time. And Gillian's like, no, I want to go. I'm like, it's too much work to do. Yes, it'd be nice to go. However, we've got so many other tasks we've not completed. It's taken a whole day at business.
It was 2 actually. I forgot to tell you that one.
So sometimes it's really good. Whereas things that I'll have to do, Gillian will come back to me and say, have you done that yet? Oh, no. Next half hour, you need to get that done. Oh, okay, I need to get it done. Yep. So having the ability to be honest with each other and knowing that if you do fall out, you come in next day and say, hey, how are you feeling? Oh, better today. Yep. I had a good sleep.
No.
That sounds like a great partnership. Well done on your success so far, and here's to another 20 years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.